Coming up next on the Belle Howard Show, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blockchain, and other things you whisper into your wife's ear when you want to initiate lovemaking. Also, we find out just how rich a cryptocurrency billionaire really is. Hey kids, Grandpa needs an operation, so start mining.
Welcome to Freedom Island. You're listening to the Belle Howard Show. And now, here's your host, Belle Howard.
Welcome to the Belle Howard Show. We're the freest oil rig ever on the 7 Seas. Free thought, free expression, and free coffee, but not free love. Because there are hidden costs to love. You know, my first wife, I had to pay for her therapy, so I couldn't pay for my own. I couldn't afford it. So when it was time to fix me, I didn't have the money. My advice to kids who want to get married is get therapy before you get married. Make sure you're perfect and then tie the knot. Wes, how are you? Wes has to stand up the entire show. You know, we have an orange crate, but I guess he's too good for that. Also, he can't sit down because his lap was burned beyond recognition by a clumsy waitress at Denny's, so to sit down for him is incredibly painful. After the operation, it was better just to keep his legs straight, and so sometimes I cart him around on a dolly with a pillow on it, and that's where he sleeps most nights, and then you kind of have to stand him up in the morning. You know, I say orange crate. One of them, an orange crate actually floated by. I think it's Don's. Don's my neighbor to the south. He's got his own Micronation. It's actually a floating island of garbage. And that's his Micronation, to each his own. You know, I've got an oil rig. He has an island of garbage. The crate floated up and we opened it, but no oranges. All that was inside was a note that said, "Help me." And it wasn't signed, so I don't know who to help. Speaking of which, Don and the Island of Garbage, he recently made the list of world's happiest micronations. Now, we're on this list, too. A little while ago, I interviewed someone from the World Economic Roundtable who ranked the world's happiest micronations, and we were way down there. Number 99 out of 100, only beating out a flaming island of garbage called Garbagia. Well, it turns out that it was Don's Micronation. And as soon as he put out the fire, he jumped up in the ranks. Actually, he's number 95 now. We're still below him. But these lists, and I'm not fooling myself. It's all political, folks. So we're still down at the bottom, but we know we're happy. We don't need the technocratic system of measurements, you know, the rankings and the charts, you know, all the technical stuff that they like to do. But Wes, if I get you a more comfortable dolly to lean against while you do the show, will you write that lady and tell her how happy you are? I mean, I still can't believe we're still lower than Derrick Land. Derrick Land, which is just a guy living in a tree in Nova Scotia. I mean, that's the thing about micronations. Virtually anything can qualify. But I mean, look at our micronation. We're actually doing stuff. You know, in Derrick Land, Derrick's not doing anything. We're embracing new technology. We're making things, contributing to the world. Derrick is just up there in a tree eating grubs. Folks, we have so much to get to. You can hear me rustling papers in the background, shuffling around here. I really don't know what these papers are or where they come from. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today in a new business segment here on the Belle Howard Show called The Free Market Report. The Free Market Report is brought to you by Avalanche Data Safes. Tired of being hacked? Don't use an easily compromised server. Once you have a paper copy of your data, just stick it in the Avalanche Data Safe, a tough carbon steel lockbox that is one of the strongest safes in the world, according to Shave Chimp Weekly. Did you know more and more companies are going back to paper? The future of data management is in the past. That's Avalanche Data Safes. Don't get caught with your digital pants down again. Well, it's called Bitcoin, and it's all the rage. Our tech overlords that invent the machines that enslave us are kind of excited about this. Like Elon Musk, the host of the daytime talk show Elon, in which he dances awkwardly with fat housewives to today's hottest hip-hop tracks. He seems to like Bitcoin, and after he tweeted about how he thinks cryptocurrency is a good idea, the market value of Bitcoin actually jumped up. I mean, when I tweet about things, the only thing that happens is I make my uncle angry. My uncle is currently the oldest SJW in the world. But anyway, people are getting rich. So we wanted to see what was going on and maybe get in on the action. So I ordered a Bitcoin on a popular online store named after a famous river. You ever been to that website, Wes? It's called Yangtze.com. It's the Chinese Amazon. Anyway, what came in a box was a little gold coin with a B on it, and I went to stick it in my disk drive, and the computer wouldn't take it. In fact, it started smoking and just fried my DVD drive. And then Wes got mad at me because that's the only way we can watch his DVDs. Yeah, I know, Wes. We have a video-on-demand service, but they don't have the original Parent Trap. So what is Bitcoin? Now, I'm woefully uninformed, so we've lined up a panel of experts to talk about it, and we're going to get to them one at a time, sort of rapid fire, and they're all very busy. So, and again, I'm shuffling papers here. There's so much to get to. First up, we need to talk about the blockchain. What is the blockchain? We reached out to a tech writer, but he refused to be on this show. He said my show was too heteronormative. And he said that I was a cis white male. I mean, I know I'm a white male, but I had the cis removed years ago. But as luck would have it, we were contacted by a very surprising source. And I think you'll be just as excited as I am for my first guest. He's here to talk about the blockchain, the technology that keeps Bitcoin decentralized. And here he is, our new tech correspondent, Christopher Walken. Chris, welcome. You know, Chris, I thought you were a Luddite. I mean, you don't even have
Belle, I don't even have a cell phone. Listen, I'm more technically capable than people think. I love open source projects. Belle, that's why I'm interested in blockchain.
Now, you say open source. People always say that. I always hear people saying that. Even when I drive downtown and have my window open. What does that mean?
It means the code is publicly available. Most software is proprietary. You need to purchase it and agree to a license that says you can't change the code in any way.
Wow, so you know a lot about this stuff, and you don't even have a...
Belle, I know what I'm doing. I've even installed Ubuntu Linux on my nephew's Speak and Spell. My wife has FreeBSD on her toaster.
Chris, all right, I don't want to know your wife's medical history now.
No, FreeBSD is an open source operating system. I installed it on our toaster oven.
Sounds like a rash. So, Chris, the blockchain. Bitcoin relies on this technology called the blockchain. How does it work? Give us a rundown.
This is the magic sauce that keeps Bitcoin decentralized. It's freedom, baby.
But Chris, what is it?
It's a ledger, but it's not owned by a central authority. Like a bank. It's like it's P2P, Belle.
Again, I don't know the lingo the kids are using these days. Did you say P2P? And that's a rapper.
No,
right?
It's peer-to-peer. I can pay you directly through a network instead of a bank, Belle. If I want to send you money to a bank, the bank has to approve the transfer. Excuse me. I can't send you money to kidnap my wife. It's traceable. So what the blockchain allows me to do is to send you money.
I'm sorry. You want me to do what?
That's where Bitcoin blockchain comes in handy. A transaction is just a block. A transaction exists online, but it's anonymous. And the network approves it. And no one has to know why. I paid you 2 Bitcoin to come into my house, tie up my wife, and load her into an unmarked van that I have ready for you behind the house.
Chris,
I'll keep it running, Belle. The van.
so this is hypothetically, I mean, you're saying, right? I mean, no one has, this isn't,
Nobody has to know, and no one will know what the Bitcoin was exchanged for, because that's the beauty of it.
so a transaction is a block. And these transactions are in a chain that, Chris, are you all right? I mean, is everything all right at home? How is your wife, by the way?
That's right, Belle. The transaction is a block on the chain, and the block is broadcast to the network for approval. Coin is totally anonymous. It can still be traced back to you. So listen carefully, Belle. I want to get a Bitcoin wallet. I want you to get a wallet so I can transfer the Bitcoin to you. I want to do this soon. It's her birthday. She won't see it coming. How's Saturday for you?
So I think I got it, Chris. I mean, the blockchain is an online ledger, peer-to-peer ledger. It's a growing list of blocks that are linked using cryptography, so you can't alter them in any way. Well, I could have just looked that up on Wikipedia. But again, Christopher Walken, always a pleasure. Say hi to your wife.
Belle, it's now or never. I can't take it anymore. She doesn't understand me.
Well, no one does, Chris. I mean, that's part of your charm. Okay, we got to get to the next guest, Chris. But thank you so much. Well, so far we've learned that Bitcoin is on a blockchain. It's anonymous, and it seems to be favored by criminals. But can you really get rich? I mean, that was one of my original questions. So let me bring on our next guest, a newly minted Bitcoin billionaire, and he's only 28. He's the most recent billionaire to try to buy Greenland. He's calling from his own private island. It's Jas Kasper. Jas, right? Jas, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey.
So you're a billionaire, and where is your island, by the way?
It's online in the metaverse.
It's online, so it's not real?
Yeah, but it's worth $5 million.
But where are you now? I mean, where are you physically?
I'm in my apartment.
You're in an apartment? But, okay, so what does a billionaire's apartment look like? Give us an audio tour of the place.
There's hardwood floors, white walls, statue of Buddha, and my laptop.
Wait a minute, you're a billionaire and that's all you've got in your apartment?
All my money is in crypto, so I don't want to pay for anything in the real world. I believe in crypto, and I want to keep the thing going, so I do everything online. I just want to exist in the metaverse.
The meta, all right. So, you're too young to know this, but we used to have a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and they would show these amazing homes owned by millionaires.
Wait, what?
And a millionaire. That's what we used to call billionaires before inflation. But my point is they had real physical things that showed their wealth. For example, a Rolls Royce, an island, a real island.
I have an island too.
But do you, Jas? Do you? It sounds like you have a virtual island that's worth a virtual currency. I mean, Bitcoin is based on a kind of faith, and it seems like it's become a religion to some of its most fanatic followers.
Isn't that what so-called real money is? It's fiat currency. It's backed by faith in the government to pay it back. Even gold. There is faith. It has some kind of intrinsic value. We just agree on what these things are worth, and that's faith.
But I can walk down to the store and use my dollar to buy a soda, and you can't do that with Bitcoin.
In some stores you can, and I can certainly do it online. But why would I buy a soda? I would rather invest in a soda startup that only accepts Bitcoin as payments.
So do you have any other assets, just cryptocurrency?
I'm 100% invested in crypto.
Well, you know the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Are we talking about real eggs?
I mean, it's just an expression.
I think it's okay to put all your eggs in one basket as long as you don't drop the basket.
Okay, well, thanks, Jas. And I think you said you have to go soon.
I have a protein jelly, and I sleep for 20 minutes every 2 hours for optimal brain functioning.
So I guess you got to do that. Okay, so thanks so much, Jas. Okay, he's taking his power nap. Well, folks, we learned a lot today. And I want to thank my guests, Jas and the great Christopher Walken. Well, what did we learn today? We learned that Bitcoin is great for criminals and it isn't real. So, I mean, at least that's what I got out of it. All right, folks, if you want to stay in touch with the show, join our little army that's growing on Facebook. Go to the Belle Howard Show on Facebook. And you can also follow me on Twitter at the Belle Howard. And leave me a voice message at anchor.fm/Belle Howard. We got a new voice message. This is interesting. It's from a rabbi. And I think it's about Bitcoin. So let's check this out. Take it away, Rabbi Jack.
Shalom Aleichem. This is Rabbi Jack Blackman of the Beth Israel Community Center, voted the funniest community center in Milwaukee 3 years in a row. I'm returning your call. You had a question about Bitoken. How do you teach your teenager Bitoken? Your first thing is you should live a life of Bitoken, first of all, because your teenagers are always watching you. You should set an example for them. So sit down with your teenager and explain Bitoken to them and tell them it's the key to a rich, fulfilling life. I know. Sometimes it's scary. I'm afraid to talk to my teenagers sometimes, but it's important, very, very important. Okay, I'll see you later. Peace out.
Well, I don't know who that was for. I guess it was the wrong number, but it's amazing how that call lined up perfectly with our topic today, Bitcoin. Or Bitoken. I mean, it seems, however you pronounce it, it's the same thing. It seems now even religious leaders think it's the future, and there's a powerful sense of trust and optimism in it. All right, folks, we'll be back next week with more malarkey. I promise, since Biden is president, we are heavily invested in malarkey. We are going all in malarkey. Until next time, you know what to do. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.
I don't even have a cell phone.